Hey, it's Yanis, and in this tutorial I will show you how to set up Entity Framework Core. So we have our project open. If you haven't followed the last tutorial, you can clone it by going to the github.com/yamzi/core API. Here you can just clone or download it. Okay. Open your project in code editor, and now we will add some models. We don't have a models folder, so we will create it. Models, make sure it's on the root like this, and we will create a photo.cs file. First we can specify the namespace, which is core API.models, and public class photo. And this class has the next properties. We will have the photo ID, the source string, which is the base 64 encoded string, and likes property, so the number of likes. Let's add this. If you click, if you type the prop and then hit the tab, you can easily add new properties like this, photo ID. And now another cool feature in the Visual Studio Code, if you select something and press the Shift and Alt, you can duplicate this value. So like this, and we will change it to the source and the type of string. And again, if I select this, I can duplicate it by Shift and Alt. And the last property will be integer, the number of likes. Okay, like this. And now I will add some annotations. So this photo ID will be automatically generated by our database. So we don't need to keep track of the ID. So I add the annotations with database generated database generated option dot identity, like this. And if I go here where it's red and press the Ctrl plus dot, you can using component model like this. Next thing for us will be to add the DbContext class. So the DbContext is required by Entity Framework to communicate with the database. So we will add this DbContext in the photo.cs file, and we will add the public class photoContext, which inherits from DbContext like this. And again, we don't have DbContext imported, so click the Ctrl plus dot and import the Entity Framework Core. So we add the constructors, so photoContext, context, and we inject the DbContext options on the photoContext and give it a name of options, which inherit from base options like this. Okay, and next we will add the DbSet. So we will store the photos from that class, and we will specify a DbSet of photos. So public DbSet set type of photo, we will name it photos, and get and set, because this is a property like this. Okay, we are complete with the photo class. Now we will change our controller. Let's change our pre-created controller values controller to the, we give it a name of photo controller, like this. And now I will select this name, because I will copy this here too, like this. And now I will change these comments to be photo. This shows us how to target this method, like this. Photo, 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 like this. And now we will be using the DbContext, so the photo context class, and we need to create a new instance of this in the constructor. So public photo controller, and we inject the photo context like this. And because we don't have it imported, we just click the control dot and using core API models, we give context, and now we assign it to the underscore context. Like, we need to create this property like this, private type of photo context underscore context, like this. Okay, so first we need to change this to the photo class, and then we just return the underscore context dot photos. So we return this dbSet like this. And if we want to return this specific photo, we change this to the photo. Now we use the link language. For example, we return the underscore context dot photos, and one method that we can use is the single. And now we use the links, so we use the arrow functions like this, and we check if the photo ID on this photo entry is the same as the ID specified in the method parameters, like int ID, like this, and we return it. Okay. At the time we will not specify any error handlings, but you should. Okay. For the post, we will also change this to the photo type. From body is correct, and now I will edit like this, underscore context dot photos. So we specify the dbSet, and the one method is add, and we just add this photo value, which I get from this post call from the body. So it's in JSON, and we take it and we add it to this dbSet. And on this operation, I also need to call the save changes on the context, like this. And now this one is for updating the entries in the database. I will change this to the photo again. And now we first need to get this photo by ID, and we will change the value from this value which we get from the put call. I first need to get this photo by ID. We will use this get ID by ID method, and then I will update the values from that photo to the new values from the new photo. Okay, so our photo is get by this ID. This will get the photo. Okay, and now photo dot source is the same as the new photo dot source, and the number of likes is the same as the new photo likes, like this. And we also, because we are changing entries, we need to call the save changes method, like this. Okay, and for the last one, it's pretty similar. We get the photo by ID and we remove it. So we will use this statement like this. And now we call the context dot photos dot remove, and we specify the photo. Okay, like this. And now we need to specify the connection to our database. We can do this in the connection string. So if we navigate to startup.cs, under this method configure services, we can add our database configuration. So I will specify the connection string to our database. I will use the local DB instance of SQL Server. So you can install the full-blown or the local DB instance of SQL Server by going to the this site, or just typing SQL Server download in the Google, and you will see it here. You can download it, and then there's the option for the local DB in the installation process, and you can install it. Okay, I will specify the connection string, which is the local DB MS SQL local DB, and the database name will be photo API, like this, and trusted connection is true. We will use the Windows authentication. This is our connection. Okay, once we specified our connection string, we will tell the DbContext that we want to use the SQL Server with that connection string. So services dot add DbContext with the type of photo context and some more link options. Options dot use SQL Server. Here we have a number of providers. We will use the SQL Server, but you could use also SQLite or others. So SQL Server, and we specify the connection string like this. And we also need, so I'm going over the photo context and control dot using models, and here control dot, and we need to use the entity framework core like this. Okay, so now our application is ready for the database. Entity framework is all set up, and now if I go to the command line, here we have some comments to use with the entity framework. We took a look at a few of comments in the last screencast. Here we will use the add migrations and the update database. So first we type the .NET EF migrations, and we add an initial migration. Migration will tell our database how to create the tables. Okay, we add this initial migration, and this will create a migrations folder and initial migration. So we can take a look at the initial migration. So we will add the photos table and these properties: photo ID, likes, and source, int and string, nullable like this, and the primary key is photo ID. Okay, now if we go back to the command line, we need to apply these migrations to our database. So now I will open the SQL Management Studio, and I will connect to the local DB instance of the SQL server, like this. And here under databases, I will delete this existing photo API, like this. And this is the state you should get if you install the local DB instance. Now I will apply this migration with .NET EF database update, and this should create a new database with a new table and all these columns. Compilation succeeded. Now it's running. Okay, and it's done. Now we will open the studio again, refresh this. So on the database refresh, and we have a photo API database. Under tables, we have the photo tables, and it's empty. We will just add a few sample photos here, or sample entries. So if I click the right click on the table, we can insert to. And now under, I will just put the number of likes, something random, and source. It's also something random, single quotes, like this, and another entry like this. I'm selecting the query, and I'm hitting F5 to run it. Okay, now if I select the top 1000 rows, we have two samples here. And now we can run this, our app, with .NET Watch Run, and we will test it. So for testing APIs, I really like the Postman tool. So Postman is add-on for Chrome, and you can find it in the Chrome App Store and install it. It's Postman, so I will launch it. Like this, and our app is running. It takes a while. So Postman is running, and I type the name of the server, localhost 5000 /API /photos. So this will trigger the get method of our photo controller, and it will return the photos DB set. Okay. If I click send, it will go to the database and return two values like this. And we see that the photo ID was generated, and we can get the specific photo by specifying the ID, photo ID, like this. And I get, if I type 3, it will give the 500 server error because we didn't catch these exceptions. Okay, now I will try another method, like for example adding a photo. So I can go here and I can get this photo back, and now change this the request type to the post, and in the body I can change to something like this, and one like, and send. Sorry, we need to change to the API /photo, and we have the 200. And now if I go back to the getting all the photos, we get the 3 entries. Okay, and for the last one we will use the delete. So if I delete the third photo, so the last one we inserted, I got the 200 back, and if I get all the photos, something is not correct. Let's examine this delete. Okay, and we forget to call the save changes because we are modifying the database like this. And I now add it because the .NET Watch is running. It will auto-compile like this. And we can try again to delete something. So this delete. Okay. Compilation succeeded. Let's send the delete. We get the 200, and now if I get all the photos, we get only 2 values, and this is correct. So this is the end of our tutorial on the setting up entity framework. Like you saw, it was really easy, and you don't need a Visual Studio, so the full-blown Visual Studio to do this. You can write your code in Visual Studio Code and run all the EF commands in the command line. I hope you enjoyed and see you next time.